This is unreal. We are back for season 10 of XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. This one's going to be a wild one, so buckle up. Here are some things you can expect right out of the gate, no pun intended. We have a brand new Gatecrasher mission that you have not seen before, and this is awesome. This is really, really well done. We are playing on what we're calling Legendary Plus mode. Imagine if Firaxis did create a Legendary Plus difficulty. This is what it would be. Enemies are stronger, they're harder to hit, they have revamped AI trees. That goes for vanilla classes, that goes for the crazy other enemies that are in here, that goes for the Chosen. Like, it's all gonna be different. It's gonna be a struggle. And I hope that mentally I can handle it. We're playing with the vanilla classes Redux. Not crazy changes, but I think the progression for a lot of the classes has been revamped. Some of the skills have been revamped. Some of the descriptions have been revamped. We're going to revisit those together when they come up. And Exalt is back. Crazy enemies are here. Like, there's a lot of changes. I can't get into them all, but I'll have the mod list linked down below for you to check out. I do want to thank a couple people right before we get started here. Thanks to the production team, as always. This season is sort of the modders versus me. And so I have not been very hands-on with the mod list at all. We're going to be learning a lot of things together, you and I, as we go through this campaign. And the modders have made it funky. We're gonna have a wild time. The production team that has organized all of this are such a huge help, and without them it would be nearly impossible to make these campaigns as cool as they are. I also want to give a shout out to Lippo and to Novaseer for play testing this mod list very thoroughly. They're two incredible XCOM players, incredible community members, and without them, this mod list would not be as refined as it is, so big shout out to them. The character pool team, specifically Kex and Nee, who go through all of your submissions and make sure that they are top quality and make sure that they fit with our guidelines, and they review all the looks. Like, this is a ton of work, and these guys are exceptional at it now. Thank you so much to them for helping put that together. And then, of course, you guys, the viewers who are continuing to watch XCOM on this channel and continuing to submit your characters, and the quality of characters goes up every year. You guys are so invested, and I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Speaking of character pool submissions, they will be open for 1 week, so they're going to close on April 8th. Get them in as soon as you possibly can. The sooner you get them in, the higher the chance of them being added to the pool sooner. And so if you're in this pool sooner, you have more chance to show up in the campaign. I think with that, we're just gonna dive in and get going. Let me walk you through the opening options here. We're going on Legend, Reduced Beginner VO, and we're showing subtitles. In the advanced options, you guys don't have to do this, but I am doing a skirmisher start because the winner of the Sky Ranger design contest submitted a skirmisher. The way we were going to do it was that the Sky Ranger winner would be Den Mother, but it turned out that they had a skirmisher, so that wasn't going to work. So we made it so that they're going to start in the starting roster, and that means we're starting with skirmishers, which I'm all for. I love the skirmisher geoscape benefits for building faster, so that's fantastic for me. I'm happy with it. You'll notice too that dark events are going to be permanent, and we've got busy skies, so UFO raid chains can appear before an Avenger hunting UFO is encountered. Buckle up. We're not going to do Iron Man with this many mods, but we're doing Honest Man. We do this all the time. When you're running this many mods, crazy things can happen. You might get like locked into a certain mission, or a save gets messed up or something. But if somebody dies, like, we run with it, and that's just how it is. We're going to uncheck this if you want to play along and do the exact same thing. Do these same options, and you're going to be ready to go. Down below, we're going to have links to all the mod lists, the character pool, everything that you need to play along. So let's dive in here. We're going to watch the opening credits. We've seen them a bunch of times, but it's just to set the vibe. And with that being said, there are going to be chapters on this video so that you can go and bounce around to wherever you want. Let's get going.
Accessing the feed now. We're in. But I don't know for how long. You seeing this? Way too much security, even for Advent.
That's no ordinary gene therapy clinic. They were telling the truth.
Or they're leading us into a trap. A really obvious trap. We'd need an army to march in there right now.
I've got a better idea. Outrider, this is Central. Go.
Timeline you placed upon us, mistakes are bound to happen.
It wasn't our fault. Please!
There's no need for any of this. I will do what you ask of me. I just need additional time.
Did you say something?
You're one of those. You must understand, I had no choice.
Outrider, report.
So, you do exist. Outrider to Avenger, I have visual confirmation.
Are you sure?
Reapers are always sure.
I'll take your word for it. Cover your tracks and get the hell out of there. They can't know we were here. Yet.
Understood. Now the real war begins.
Always hype. It's always hype.
Excitement continues to build as city centers across the globe prepare for the 20th anniversary of Unification Day.
Thousands line up at the site of the Great Accord, celebrating the formation of the Advent Coalition.
Keeping with their promise to humanity, 12 new gene therapy clinics will be opening in select cities by the end of the new year.
Despite the attempted attack by fringe elements, operations at the new facility in Paris thankfully remain unaffected.
In response to the unprovoked intrusion on the eve of our most beloved celebration, the speaker reaches out to us.
A small number of dissidents again repeat the mistakes of the old world.
Striking as we celebrate the benevolent savior who time and again offers only friendship and compassion.
Yet these trivial actions could never break the bond between humanity and the Elders.
Peacekeeping forces have already made several preemptive arrests of known collaborators. Advent again assures all citizens that today's celebrations will continue as planned.
Perfect.
The Advent administration reminds you to report all suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeper. Only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep Gatecrasher. 60 seconds. Now.
Signal received. Loud and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
Oh, okay, so this is the time when we meet our opening roster. Who are they going to be? Will they make it to the end of the campaign? Sometimes they're heroes, sometimes they're zeros. I love them either way. They're all part of the story. Good luck to everybody involved. If your character shows up, I'll do my best. I'll do my best to keep him alive. But based on what I'm hearing about this mod list, not looking good. Okay, this is a cool looking crew that we've got going on here. Look at this. Okay, we got some tattoos with a little kill count on the right-hand side there. We got kind of the white punk hair with the spikes. I like that. We got some double layered headgear on the left. Our skirmisher looks cool. He's also married, as you can tell. And you might be noticing the giant screen in the middle. This Operation Gatecrasher. Notice the briefing. So we meet with a Reaper operative who's already infiltrated the site. The commander, although barely conscious, will give further directives thanks to a hidden transmitter. Rescue the commander from the gene clinic. Ooh, we got some like, looks like some Anarchy's Children DLC spikes on the left. This is a cool look with the horns too. Look at the tattoos on the right. Okay. Okay, guys, I love this. This is a great starting squad. This is exciting because you meet your squad and you're like, okay, some of these guys, they're gonna make it. Some of these guys might be there until the end. They might be. Some of them might not make it past this mission, which is also a thing that could happen. And that's kind of exciting. So this opening Gatecrasher mission is essentially the tutorial that has had all the tutorial elements removed, and we're in full control. So Outrider is here to meet us and guide us to the commander. We have to get to the commander. You noticed, I don't know if you noticed in the bottom right, maybe rewind. I won't spoil it for you if you missed it, but look at the little notification that popped up. The commander is down, but the commander has a name. So Outrider, we know, we love. That is exciting to see her. Let's meet our opening squad. So I've got Aiko Faultline Ishikawa. Love the look of this soldier. That is really, really, really nice. The tattoos fit perfectly. This arm missing. Any other cool details? Obviously a lot of wounds on the face. One of the things I'm always excited for is to see if people connect their biographies of the soldiers with their looks. That's one of my favorite things that people pull off, and some people do it really well. Stats-wise, 65 aim, 4 health, average. We'll take it. Outcast here, 68 aim, 5 health. This is our starting skirmisher. Also looks like we've got some type of perk here, comeback kid. So you can make it count when everything looks bleak. The unit gets increased aim to their next attack if they've either been shot the previous turn or missed a high percentage chance attack. That works pretty nicely for skirmishers, actually. Welcome to the squad. Cool look. I like the toned down skirmisher look. That is really neat. Marissa Mephistopheles. Okay, it's gonna be Mephisto, probably. Salvador is also here. 65 aim, 4 health. Good start. We've got Tabitha Illusionist Delamere, 65 aim, 4 health. We've got Spitfire, Harriet Spitfire Crow as a grenadier. Love that. Love that. Cool look. 67 aim, 5 health. We'll take that, absolutely. And then we've got Valerie 13 DeCastro as our sharpshooter. 75 aim, 5 health. We like that a lot. Okay, this is exciting. This is really cool. What a good starting group, I think. This looks nice. Let's see what kind of trouble that we can get into here. We are concealed, and we are going to advance down this well-lit path. See if we find...
We've got some kind of mechs here.
We found action.
At least I think they are, underneath all that rust.
We have found some action.
Original automatic defense system. Take them down before they alert anyone else to our presence.
So we're kind of in the middle here. I don't love that. If I can work towards a map edge, I typically will. So let's send Outrider up here.
A patrol is upwind.
Oh, we got like a double pod situation right off the rip. I love it for us. That's great news. Let's head in here with Faultline. Why are we yelling, guys?
I think someone just saw us.
What? Guys, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? That's a great start.
Move, move, move!
Okay, well, I'm gonna get everybody in close because apparently these civilians couldn't keep their mouths shut. And now, we're in for it. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. The enemies still don't see us, but we were revealed by civilians, which we love. There are harsher penalties for civilians not surviving. So look at that. Central and Kelly are about to arrive. Exciting. Exciting. Man, I kind of feel like this might be too hard to pass up. Like, I might need to do this.
A deadly trap.
That'll do. What are the chances? Yeah, I like these chances here, actually. I think compared to any other shot we could take with our sharpshooter, this might just be the best. And I think we're going to go for it. Let's go. First shot in the campaign hits, obviously. This guy looks fun. Doesn't have much armor at all. Ooh, okay. And the other squad, not activated. Quite nice for us. Okay, so I am gonna have some trouble dealing with that armor, potentially. That is possible. Do I bring in Spitfire? Or do I keep Spitfire here? Because we're gonna need to shred some of that, I think. I could bring Fault Line up, see if we could throw that far. I think we could. Let's get going. You get out of here. You already caused us enough trouble.
Look out, grenade.
Let's bring the booms. I'm honestly tempted to toss another grenade. Maybe Illusionist as well.
If you say so. Take this.
If we can clear this pod without activating the other one, I'm pretty happy. 62% there. I mean, obviously we have a really good shot with Outrider. I don't want to really pick up those kills with Outrider if I can avoid it, because experience, you know, isn't really going to matter on her. I'd like to give it to the people that are coming back. We have a shot here with Outcast.
Hoorah!
Let's see what we can do. 55. It's a coin flip, baby. There will be a lot of coin flips this campaign. Let's see how the first one goes. It is horrible.
Too quick.
Oh yeah, that thing was, yeah, definitely too quick. Definitely too fast. That was the issue. I feel like we got two possible coin flips left. This is 60. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay, first promotion of the campaign. We love that. Mephisto. Well done. Wait, is that... No. Is that the first? Did we not get promoted here? We didn't. Did she get all the experience? She actually did because it was her Claymore. Huh, yeah, okay. That's right. That's right. I think I chill here. I see the markers, but I think I chill right here.
My watch begins.
I don't need to be doing anything aggressive right now. This could be good. This could be good. We're gonna have one Overwatch. Ooh, there's another group on the left.
They're disciplined.
Oh! Nice. Yes, the car. It's my favorite. Look at that. Central and Kelly are here. Now, Central's got some skills.
We were detected on approach. Advent knows we're here.
Central's got some skills. So we've got Blade Master, so extra damage and aim with the melee attack. We've got Shadow Step. We've got Blade Storm, and we have Untouchable. So if you score a kill, the next attack against you misses. Blade Storm, or sorry, Shadow Step here could be quite nice. Like, this might be a perfect opportunity. The challenge is, we saw that other pod over there, and I feel like if I do this, I'm gonna go in and that's gonna be I'm gonna activate that group. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay for us to do. The commander's back here. I kind of feel like if I can kill things, I should kill them. I know that's, you know, obvious, but I think we use our Reaper right now. Now, the way that this works is you get decreased damage with each successive attack. So we want to hit the big damage here first. Actually, here. Goodbye. Now, also at the same time, I don't really want to be granting Central a bunch of experience.
Ooh, boy. Seem more capable than the grunts. Ooh, boy. We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
But I think at this point, we just need to clean up the enemies. We are going to start seeing a ton of reinforcements that will not stop. So we're going to have to just get as much of this done as humanly possible. So we're down to 5 to 7 damage. One thing we could consider, Spitfire. I do have an Overwatch to deal with. But I'm thinking if I can get over here and blast this group, that could be quite good for us. I'm going to need a lot of damage for this sniper anyways. So let's take this.
Kill confirmed.
So I love that on Gatecrasher we've got officers, snipers, medics, troopers, derelict mechs. Like, it's all out here. Jane Kelly. Now, Jane Kelly, if she survives this mission, will come back and we will apply a different look to her and a different name because I'll show you why later. Okay, let's see. I think I kind of have to take this. I could move Outrider's position a bit, but we also could do that after when some flanks might open up. So let's bring Spitfire here. The goal is to clear as many of these as possible and maybe leave Bradford as a dangle because he's got Untouchable. Yeah, this is pretty good. I would love to be able to hit all 3 of these, but I definitely want to hit that officer and remove that cover.
Let's get this out of the way.
Let's go. Plus, if I have to, I can weaken most of them and then Reaper the rest of them with Central Air. I mean, that's my best shot. I don't hate it. It's not obviously not great, but if I move, I'm not going to have a shot with 13 anyways. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Okay, I'm feeling good about our squad right now. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty freaking good about our squad right now. Kelly's not in a great position to do much of anything. This could simply be a come up here, blow up this trooper situation, but also like he's got 1 health, so like Bradford could do it. But again, if I can get kills for these guys, incredible. 46 there. What's your aim? 65, 65. Yeah, nothing crazy. This gets you a little closer, and then you've got a shot on that trooper, which is nice. There's that heavy back there that if I could weaken just a little bit, would be nice. Because again, Central can, if we have to, Central can clean up the lower health ones. Let's just double check his range right now. Yeah, he's got the range to hit any of them, which is very flexible for us. This is really the only position for Kelly to be in. So I think we're just gonna take that. Do I want to guarantee the kill? Maybe. Maybe. I think for people that don't have a grenade, I think we just come up and take our best shot, sort of thing. Outrider, I really feel like I'm going to be moving. So I'm going to put you here, and then that opens up a closer spot for somebody like Faultline. We do have potentially a skirmisher pull as well, maybe onto that trooper that could be quite helpful. I think we go for this.
Let me show you how a soldier does it.
Nice pull. There we go, baby. Beautiful. Okay, things are going swimmingly right now.
I guess that'll be okay.
We have that option. This heavy is a problem for sure, but I'm really hoping I can dangle Central for that. I mean, those are all pretty safe kills, you know? Could give that to Kelly. These guys already have promotions. Not a bad thing, but just saying. She is the shotgun too, so like, yeah, let's take this. Yeah, that worked.
Target eliminated.
God, XCOM feels good, man. Oh, it just feels so good. It just feels so good to be playing XCOM again. Unbelievable. I'm gonna come up here. There's a part of me that wants to take these low percentage shots to weaken that medic. Mephisto here, the only shot you're gonna have is this. Let's coin flip it. Okay, the coin flips are flipping right now.
Vale, tengo uno.
I will give credit where it's due. I will give credit where it's due. In order to chain this medic needs to get hit. The other option, yeah. I think we take this shot at 65. See if we reveal. Oh, damn, that's too bad. And we did reveal.
The shadows fail us.
Okay. So now I'm kind of all in on this tactic. Oh! Whoa, the 45 and the kill.
It was you against all of me.
You're serious. All right. So then we do this. Because he can still reach her, or he can still reach the heavy. Damn, that's too bad.
Missed the target.
Okay. We go here. Pick up some stuff.
I've killed just about everything that walks or crawled.
Autoloader, focus, sure. We take those.
Shen might like this.
And then I'm gonna dangle hard here.
Hit the blade!
Oh yeah, Blade Storm. Yeah, I knew that. I accounted for that, guys. I accounted for that. I'm not gonna be rusty at all. And I'm gonna make absolutely zero mistakes this entire campaign, so buckle up. Okay, we gotta now we go. Now we motor. We just get in here. How are we getting access to this, by the way? Okay, we've got a door here. We have a door on this side. We have to evac back here. Dragonova Central Kelly cannot die. Otherwise, that fun campaign. It's over. GG. Bye. I could reconceal, but I think I'm just gonna
Be there soon.
motor. Scared me.
Running!
Let's get going.
Solid copy.
This is sort of a dream start right now.
Boots to the
Should I have said that out loud? Nope.
Affirmativo.
Absolutely not.
On the move. Fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go full dash here. Okay, here we go.
Dropship up there.
Okay. So we have people coming in. Now, we could Overwatch this, obviously. Okay, how are we getting out of here? Door's way at the end there. Yeah, that's an option. Or...
heading out.
Or we make our own doors.
Catch!
Let's make our own doors. Okay, does anybody have higher movement? We got 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Okay, the answer is no. Let's get Kelly in here.
Rolling out.
I mean, that's kind of a cool story. Try not to catch fire here, ideally. Would be nice.
Gets your heart racing.
Yeah, I think we just try to motor here. Don't love that she can't get around this, but that's part of life as a sniper.
No time to spare.
Outcast could go up top, maybe. Does that add any value to me, really, though? Could just cause more problems if there's an enemy group up there.
Boy.
Illusionist.
Rolling out.
Okay. As far as I know, the reinforcements are endless here. I guess in theory you could be farming a certain level of experience, but I think we're in a pretty good spot. I don't know that we need to push it. Nobody's been hit yet, so I feel like, you know, we kind of take what we've got.
Maybe singed.
This is burning out of control.
Everyone, you're totally fine.
Not a problem.
Let's do it, Jane. Great job. Okay, now, they could come running in here. Let's do... How do we want to do this?
My lady.
I mean, the idea that I'm thinking of is we set up some overwatches for that group that might chase. But I also don't want to be in the open.
Going to check it out over there.
Boots to the
And I
ground.
definitely want to make sure that these guys are all within range to get out of here.
If you say so.
Yeah.
So for you, I think we'll just go like this.
I will reposition.
Central back here. And then... Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. I think if they're going to come to me, they're going to need to full dash this. I think I'm okay going in this spot. Hopefully we're close enough to get out from there.
No retreat. No surrender.
Overwatch.
Got you covered there.
Reapers are always vigilant. They might as well be shouting.
Some cool voice packs I'm noticing too.
Watch yourself. There's another squad attacking.
Let's see what else pops in here. Green guys, that's never good. Here he comes.
Advent troops spotted.
Okay, well, they are live. We might pop an Overwatch or two here. Whiffed. Whiffed. All we're doing is sending warning shots. The question is, can Quiet get out of here? Oh my god, we're one short. Like, of course we are. Of course we are. That's scary. Outrider back here. Fault line back
Listen,
here.
let's move here.
We're gonna tuck Quiet around this corner.
Got it.
Central here. Maybe that frees up that spot for Outcast. It does. Mephistos here. Spitfire here. I think we're just going to evac 13. And if I don't have a great spot for Illusionist, I think I'm going to evac you as well.
Getting out of here. Je reste pas dans le coin.
Okay.
I won't let them past.
Ground and pound.
Afirmativo. Cubriendo.
I'm on it.
Here we go. A little bit of tension here right at the end. Love that for us.
Another squad's attacking. Focus.
Okay. Got an Overwatch from the officer. Grenadier. Woo! Let's go. Great, guys.
I take responsibility.
Sometimes you lose.
Now, the question.
Sometimes you don't.
The question is. Yeah. That's... Okay, so that's an alert. I don't think that officer is going to be able to Overwatch from that angle, right? Like, there's just no way. And we're fine if we activate these guys. I'm wondering... No. Like, this is all clear. The only way he overwatches is if we head in there. I don't see any tiles here, right? Wouldn't make any sense.
Move, move, move!
Go.
I've got eyes on an advent position. Got an ambush!
I would love to just blow that up, though, so badly.
Venga, vamos, vamos! Why the hell not? I'm on the move.
Now, this is about the part of the video where people are going to ask, why don't you have the evac all mod? We haven't used that because there's always weird bugs with it, and like it can mess with some objectives and stuff. I don't know if it's been updated in the past or not, but either way, it kind of feels like something we don't really want to be messing too much with. Hey, if we pull this, great. If not, no hard feelings. Yeah, that's chill. Do I have anybody with grenades available? Take that shot, might as well. You could take that shot, but nobody gets experience. Let's take this.
Negative.
All right, we tried. Okay, we're out of here.
Ends here. Justo a tiempo. I'm glad that's over with.
I leave the field for now.
Head home.
And last but not least,
VIP is secure.
that was a sick start, actually. That was nice. Really cool job in the Gatecrasher mission. I highly encourage you guys to go in here and try that for yourself.
Everything they had.
Love that.
But we pulled it off.
We'll check the mission debriefing here. So, fault line, 33% accuracy, 6 damage. Not bad. Most exposed, wanton destruction, kill stealer. These photos will populate later, I believe. Outcast, 0 for 1, but did pull somebody once, which was cool. Mephistopheles, 2 for 2. Okay, I'll remember that. Illusionist, 0 for 2. Unfortunate. Spitfire, 1 for 1. Most assists. 13, 2 for 2. Outrider, 0 for 2. Bradford, MVP. I mean, come on. How could he not be? And Kelly, impressive. Carried the commander and 1 for 1. That's pretty great, I would say. It's flawless, so we're taking a mission photo. Absolutely, we are. I don't think we can get everybody in there, but this is chill. What locations do we have? That's it. It's all right. I don't think we need any furniture in there. This is classic. This is classic. Oh, I like this. Save load layout. I don't know if that's always been in there. I feel like that might be new. But guys, great start. Now let's meet our soldiers and start all of the other stuff. The playtesters have explained that it is very important how we prioritize our tech. And so that's probably going to be my primary focus early on. Getting our research up and running as fast as possible. Not a great shot percentage, obviously, but we did get some clutch ones.
Advent's ongoing development or outreach programs. Voluntary citizen emigration.
Sky Ranger, I'll be customizing that as well. A couple of promotions across the board here. Very nice, guys.
There can be no other path for us.
So we got the auto loader, we got basic focus and a basic repeater. Look at this. This is so cool.
Carefully. There's potential.
potentially decades of atrophy to contend with.
Wish we had more time.
I don't disagree.
But as it stands now, we risk losing the patient if we don't begin the removal procedure immediately.
We're ready.
Good. Then let's get on with it.
Remarkable.
Just like 20 years ago. We were still calling it a war back then. We had no idea what was coming.
Response from the cerebral cortex. Good. Prepping for cranial intrusion. I've managed to identify the connection, preparing to make final incision.
These readings are getting really erratic.
Of course they are. These implants were never designed to be removed. We are risking severe...
No plan B here, people. Do it.
It's actually so cool because I don't think we ever see this unless you play the tutorial, and I don't think we've played the tutorial since the first time.
Vital stabilizing. Procedure complete.
Told them it would take more than that to keep you down. Welcome back, Commander.
Oh man, this is so fun.
Glad to see you're finally coming out of it. Don't envy the headache you must have, though. Still, can't fault Dr. Tigan. Especially as no one's even attempted something like this before. Easy. We're still not entirely sure what they did to you. That chip was buried halfway into your skull. Lost a lot of good soldiers looking for you over the years. Almost gave up hope you were still out there. Acted on the intel as soon as I got word. Not sure what you remember, but a lot's changed. Did the best I could, but the last 20 years have been tough without you. You feel like catching up. Shen has the archive up and running on your terminal. Otherwise, I'd go see Dr. Tigan when you're ready. There's some things you should know. He'll be better at explaining them than me. It's damn good to have you back, Commander.
You too, big boy. You and me. You and me. You and I. Okay, so Comeback Kid, we read about that already. Great. Jericho Pops Walker has anthrophobia, so chance to panic when encountering an Exalt soldier. Okay, that's not too bad.
Commander, to the research lab.
That's not too bad. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna view our soldiers. Actually, you know what? I'll show you the Sky Ranger first. Here is the beautiful Sky Ranger as designed by Assassin. Assassin is the skirmisher in the start of our run, and this was done, actually, there was a chance he wasn't going to be the skirmisher because it was just that we would include a skirmisher because that was the character that he made instead of going with the Den Mother option. So we gave the Den Mother option to the second place person, Silver, I believe. So shout out to those guys, and thanks for designing some cool Sky Ranger stuff. This one's sick. This one won by quite a few votes, actually. So I hope you guys dig it. And we'll be seeing a lot of this bad boy. That is the Sky Ranger. I think next thing that we're going to do is we're going to meet our soldiers, and then we're going to launch into the research and all the other stuff. So let's begin. As always, we had a randomly generated soldier down here from the Anarchy DLC thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But we console commanded in 45 supplies to dismiss that soldier and recruit another one. So we are all set. Let's begin. This is Halfling up here. Halfling is the replacement for Jane Kelly, essentially. And so Jane Kelly is also a keeper class. So we have this one, Halfling, and then we'll have Den Mother, and those are the only 2 keeper classes. I think you can go into the Guerrilla Tactics School at some point, and you can unlock them to be added or trained as keepers. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, we're gonna have 2. But let's begin. This is our opening roster, and this is always kind of exciting. So we're going to go through all the backstories here, and let's dive in, shall we? Character info, biography. Here we go. So, Callisto Halfling Kender. After escaping from an Advent-controlled city center, Callisto has spent her days wandering through the wilderness and the abandoned cities of the old world. A born survivor, she is as relentlessly cheerful as she is short, and is more than happy to provide the comic relief. A lover of fantasy, she has chosen Halfling as her preferred call sign in honor of some legendary characters who share these traits. Halfling loves music and has a wonderful singing voice. She's also a talented guitarist, and it pains her greatly that during her escape, she had to leave her vintage 1957 Gibson Les Paul Custom behind. This person guitars. She has vowed one day to return for it. Do we have any, like, guitar references? Obviously we've got the cool kind of like band shirt and stuff, and like she does look like a musician, definitely, but it'll be interesting to see future armor tiers how we do that. And guys, remind me, when we get to different armor tiers, there's 3 soldiers that we need to be mindful of. Actually 4 if you count Den Mother, that we'll have to go and import their looks at each different armor tier. Halfling is 1, Spitfire is 1, and 13 is 1. So this is because they were replacements for the stock soldiers that are supposed to die in the tutorial. Anyways, just if you care about that kind of stuff. Next up, we have Harriet Spitfire Crow as our Grenadier, who's probably going to see a lot of action early on. Okay, country of origin, United Kingdom, date of birth, December 10th, 2006. Harriet was raised on war stories. Her father flew a Supermarine Spitfire during the Battle of Britain, defending London from the Blitz. To him, the Spitfire wasn't just a machine, it was a promise. A thin line of metal and courage between home and annihilation. To her, it was something more. Defiance. She'd sit beside her grandfather at airfields, small hand wrapped around his weathered fingers, watching modern jets thunder down runways. He would point, smile faintly, and say, "Different wings, same sky." When the aliens arrived in 2015, those stories stopped being history. Her father flew a Eurofighter Typhoon out of RAF Coningsby when the first unidentified contacts appeared over British airspace. Radar painted shapes that moved wrong. Too fast. Too sharp. Energy signatures that made no sense. The scramble order came anyways because that's what crows did. They launched into impossible skies. Her father never got a visual. 1 second he was vectoring towards a target, next, white light, static, silence. His transponder vanished over the North Sea. No wreckage, no last words, no body. He died doing exactly what his father had done decades earlier, only this time, the enemy won. Her grandfather never spoke of these skies again. The man who had once laughed over tales of impossible odds grew quiet, smaller. The light behind his eyes flickered and dimmed. Harriet watched her hero fade and felt a spark inside her ignite. Humanity surrendered, the elders descended, and Advent rose from the ashes with promises of peace and unity. She studied civil engineering under Advent's careful supervision. By day, she learned how their gleaming cities stood. At night, she learned how to bring them down with former soldiers, smuggled manuals, and improvised detonators, all while her grandfather withered in a world he no longer recognized. When he finally passed, she cried, and then she felt relief. The old Spitfire pilot had been forced to watch humanity kneel. At least he wouldn't have to see what she would become. That was the day she crossed from dissident to insurgent. And though her heart ached with the memory of her family, she knew hesitation would kill more than just herself. Joining the resistance was quiet, a handshake in a dark room, and a question: how do you feel about making a statement? Harriet discovered she had a gift, not just for explosives, but for ignition in every sense. Her words could spark courage, her charges could spark fear. People listened, words moved them, explosions made them remember. Advent called her a terrorist, the resistance called her Spitfire. When Central began planning the commander's extraction, he requested her personally, not for subtlety. Subtle was never the point. If you're going to start a revolution, Central reportedly said, sliding the op briefing across the table, you'll need someone who knows how to make an entrance. Harriet just smiled. After all, different wings, same sky. Oh, that's sick. Great, great writing. So, by the way, Spitfire and 13, these are our two playtesters that I mentioned in the intro, Lippo and Novaseer. They did a ton of work to make this mod list be good. And if you guys could thank them in the comments, I think that would go a long way. So yeah, super, super cool. And then Cloista, one of our big contributing members of the community, makes a ton of mods. You guys are all using them. He is the Jane Kelly replacement that is Halfling. So just nice little nods to those guys because they've done so much work. Next up, we have Valerie 13 De Castro. Here we go. Country of origin, France. Date of birth, February 10th, 2010. Valerie De Castro, Marseille, July 6, 2013. Valerie had as normal a childhood as someone growing up in an Advent-controlled world really could. Her family hopped around quite a fair bit before the invasion, so having to move back to France when the aliens landed didn't really affect her or her family. Of course, Advent eventually set up checkpoint upon checkpoint to prevent this, with the reasoning that people constantly crossing borders could be liaising with the resistance. So by the age of 4, she'd settled down in Marseille. She started going to school, she got good grades, albeit nothing special. Outside of school, she volunteered wherever she was needed and frequently helped out her classmates and friends, earning a reputation for being one of the nicest people the people who knew her had ever met. Passing high school with flying colors, Valerie moved on to university in September 2031, studying biochemistry. Her ambition was to partake in the miracle work that took place in the gene therapy clinics, at least in her eyes, and help millions of lives. Exactly 1 year and 1 month into her course, that changed. On the 9th of October 2032, prominent French Advent politician Marcel Louvre was murdered. In an unfathomable streak of consequences, Valerie was named the primary suspect, tried and falsely found guilty. Her sentence, 13 years in Compound 31, the most notorious Advent correctional facility in the entire region. Safe to say that Valerie did not like it there. As luck would have it, though, on the 7th of July 2034, the day after her 21st birthday, a local resistance cell executed a prison break of Compound 31 to free one of their own members, leaving the gates to freedom wide open. Torn between following a resistance her society demonized and staying in what was left of Compound 31 to rot, Valerie chose the former. Don't blame her. But the damage had already been done, for Compound 31 had irreversibly changed her. Gone was the kind, sweet demeanor of Valerie De Castro, the girl who helped everyone with their homework and volunteered at the charity shop after school. All that was left was a husk of a woman, cold and cruel, deadened by years of trauma, and all too willing to solve problems.
Contact, I just
Bradford.
assumed the spokesman had died or moved on after the council dissolved. From what little he's told
We'll
me,
carry
it
on.
sounds like he managed to gain a position.
Cold
with
and
the
cruel.
Advent government
All that was left was a
early
husk of a
on,
woman,
if
cold
only
and
to
cruel,
start
deadened
leaking
by
intel
years
to
of
the
trauma,
resistance.
and all too willing to solve problems through violence, and one shockingly good with a rifle. The vast streak of coincidences that led to her creation gave her the moniker 13. Unlucky for some, certainly for Advent. The murder they sought is out for them, forged by their own hands. Love it. Love it. Super cool look. Can we count how many things are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 crossed out. Dude. Just saying. Love that. Love that. Also, her eyes, very intense, very intimidating. Welcome to the squad, Valerie. Happy to have you. Another Valerie from Canada. This is great. Valerie Memories Pain is here. Let's read this backstory. Date of birth, unknown exactly, but around 2011. She is amped and ready to go. Valerie does not remember the old Earth, what it was like before the aliens arrived. All she remembers is the thirst, the hunger, and the fear most of all. And she remembers a voice, a soft voice, a comforting voice. It was her mother's voice. The voice is singing a lullaby. The voice makes the pain go away. The voice begs her to be quiet, to run, to hide, always running, always hiding. Running from what? Hiding from what? All Valerie knows is the thirst, the hunger, and the fear. Always the fear. One day the voice asked her to hide, to be still. The voice was ragged and weak. Valerie hid, barely daring to breathe, waiting. Other voices, harsh voices, could be heard, getting closer. Lights flashed, searching, always searching. Suddenly a sharp crack, followed by a soft sigh. Then silence. Valerie remembers the lights getting closer, then darkness envelops her. Valerie remembers the soft linen of the hospital bed she woke up in, remembers the drip of the IV and the humming of machines. She remembers the orphanage, the other children, and the fear. Always the fear. She tried to outrun the fear, outstudy it, ignore it, squash it. Took almost 2 decades of therapy, psych evaluations, and medication for Valerie to accept her scars and accept herself. With acceptance came tranquility and a way to deal with the fear and loss. She studied for an engineering degree while working shifts at Advent Burger. Soon after graduation, she got a job at an Advent Gene clinic. This is where she met Charles, whose soft-spoken nature rekindled feelings of safety and comfort in Valerie. They dated, got married, then little Amelia came along. Life was good. Valerie remembers the day the fear came back, the empty room where Amelia should be playing. She remembers calling the clinic, only to be told that no one called Charles worked there. And then a knock on her door, 2 uniformed officers trying to calm and comfort her. Most of all, she remembers the guns the officers started to pull. Valerie does not remember why her hands were bloody or why the 2 officers lay sprawled on the floor of her apartment. Screams, sirens flashing, klaxons blaring. What are klaxons? Valerie remembers to run, to hide, remembers the fear. But there was something new, something pushing the fear aside, squashing it. Fury. Bradford note. Commander, we picked up a woman fleeing City 31. She's looking for her daughter, which she says Advent have spirited away, cause unknown. She seems determined to join us in order to get back at Advent and discover her daughter's whereabouts. As a former Advent employee, I urge caution, yet her inside knowledge could prove useful. The final decision rests with you. Awesome. Very, very cool. I love the headset. Kind of reminds me of like an Overwatch character in a sense. Then there's this little cup there with the little signatures. That's very cool. Purple hair. Obviously, we're not going to miss you on the battlefield visually. But yeah, sick, Valerie. Welcome, memories. Marisol Toxic Ponzonia. That is interesting. Oh, cool. Okay. Let's go. Before the invasion, Marisol worked as a laboratory assistant in the specialized biochemical research facility in Mexico City. The lab primarily focused on agricultural pesticides, but Advent eventually repurposed it to refine biological toxins derived from viper venom. Their goal is to stabilize the neurotoxin for use in an aerosolized compliance grenades, assuring her and the rest of the team that these weapons would only ever be deployed as a last resort, obviously. During a routine venom harvest, a containment seal on a pressurized vat failed, flooding the lab with toxic gas. Rather than vent the room and risk losing the vulnerable neurotoxin, Advent sealed the laboratory doors from the outside to contain the spill. Marisol and her colleagues were trapped inside for 6 hours as the caustic vapors melted equipment and seared her lungs. She would not have survived if she hadn't found a discarded muton mask in the lab and used it to filter the air. By the time the cleanup crew arrived, she was the only one left alive. Alive, yes, but forever changed. The exposure ravaged her lungs and permanently altered her skin, leaving her unable to breathe without the mask that had saved her life. Sick. Literally. Deemed as damaged biological material and quietly discarded, Marisol disappeared into the slums of New Mexico. For 2 years, she survived in the fringes of society, shunned for her appearance and dependent on the mask that had become both her lifeline and a constant reminder of the regime that valued her life less than a few liters of venom. She learned of Xcom not long after, and in the years since has taken up the fight. Now she stands ready to take revenge on the regime that treated her and her colleagues as expendable. That is one of the more creative backstories that I've read in a long time. Very cool, super cohesive look. Nothing like, it's like, that's just super unique. Like, great job. Really, really great job, Toxic. Happy to have you. And yeah, pumped to see what becomes of you. Aiko, Faultline, Ishikawa. This look is insane too. Like, as I commented on, we saw her at the start. It's just so clean. Like, really, really, really nice. From Japan. This is exciting. For Commander's review, this is recorded by Bradford. Commander, this is Central. Finalized personnel log for Ishikawa Aiko. She's from the outskirts relocation zones. Advent kept the model citizens in the city center. Clean infrastructure, full rations, tight surveillance. The rest were reassigned to the perimeter districts. Neglected utilities, reduced protection, minimal oversight. Aiko. Yeah, they called it redistribution. I had friends whose families qualified for the center. They told me things weren't stable. Demonstrations over food shortages, entire apartment blocks sealed for radiation sickness. Something about leftover tech from the original invasion still being all around the city. No one came back from quarantine. Not the same anyways. It started in our district soon after. People changing, moving wrong, acting wrong, like their humanity had been stripped out. They rushed the living like they were a bargain sale on Black Friday. Bradford. She organized a civilian protection group called the Sentinels. Aiko. Scavs, laborers, former security, anyone who could hold a weapon. Advent scaled back patrols in the outskirts once the outbreak spread, and we filled the gap as best as we could. But we were running out of ammo. Food was worse. And those things, the lost, they were spreading fast. So I reached out to the local Advent commander, Field Sergeant Vastrax. I thought he'd prefer stabilization over chaos. But he saw unauthorized resistance and initiated a fire sweep of the districts, purging everything that was not Advent. There was a high rise near their approach route, structurally compromised. We rigged it. When he pushed in, I brought it down. The noise pulled in every lost soul for blocks. Chaos did the rest. Bradford. She sustained critical injuries, covering civilian evacuation. Lost her right arm to an Advent shock blade. Aiko. They left me in the rubble, assuming the rest would finish it. Most of the Sentinels were killed holding the line so civilians could escape. Vastrax survived the engagement, saw him shrug off the explosion. Not much worse for wear. Looking like straight out of a nightmare. Bradford. Xcom forces intercepted the aftermath. Ishikawa was extracted and stabilized aboard the Avenger. She accepted recruitment without hesitation. Aiko. The Sentinels stood watch. They held the line. I'll make sure the ground doesn't hold for Advent again. Bradford. Given her operational history, urban destabilization, infrastructure collapse, and her tendency to expose weaknesses in enemy control zones, we've assigned the call sign Fault Line. Recommendation stands. That's cool. It's a nice little back and forth too with Bradford and her. Yeah, great look. Super cool. Excited to have you. Fun to see what class you're going to be as well. Maya May Kuniara. Very military vibes here. Like that. We're seeing a lot of this kind of headgear with goggles, which I find kind of an interesting trend. Almost every season there's sort of a few underlying visual trends that people kind of pick up on. So yeah, this one's pretty popular it seems, and I like it. I shot my girlfriend dead. Okay, next. Just kidding. We were told they were using faceless disguise as us to cause confusion. No problem. We have measures in place to identify each other. Besides, I've known her for years. I'll recognize her. She says she's going right to assist some others. Just a minute later, sure enough, a faceless disguise as her approaches me from the left and is carrying the wrong weapon. Nice try, but she didn't go that way, and that's the rifle she was using last week. Without thinking twice, I pull the trigger and paint the dirt with the brown sludge those things are made of. Except, it's been a long time. This moment replays in my nightmares over and over. Didn't hit right away. I don't know how long it took for me to realize. The memory is clear, but it plays in slow motion. The silence after the shot seems to drag on for hours. The world is blurred out of recognition until the only thing I can see clearly is her face, still so soft, like the years of fighting had barely taken a toll. We've been fighting side by side since we met. We traveled the world, wore our life, I suppose. It was hard sometimes. We saw a lot of good people die. We struggled with the feeling that nothing we were doing mattered. Sisters in arms. Imagine my surprise when this friend who I'd known for over 8 years confessed that she had a crush on me. I never considered myself to be anything but straight, but she chose the right time to get what she wanted. We'd just come out of a series of defeats. I saw my officer get flattened by a berserker and came out of an amicable but difficult breakup. My mental state was fucked enough to think, what the hell? What do I have to lose? We've dug bullets out of each other with our bare fingers. It's not like we'll fall apart if this fails. The relationship was unlike any that I've had. She made me realize I was confusing lust for love. Instead of believing the solution to coping with all my problems was, how could I put this, passionate hugging, she showed me genuine care. I would come home after a bad day, sit next to her on the couch, lay my head on her shoulder, and hear her tell me it was all going to be okay. And when she came home after a bad day, she would sit next to me on the couch, lay her head on my shoulder, and hear me tell her it was all going to be okay. I miss her so much. There was no fear in her eyes when I pointed the gun at her. If rolling your eyes could be an expression, that's her. She was expecting me to verify her, drop the gun, apologize, say it was a reflex, and I should have known better. She would tease me about almost shooting her again and say it wouldn't be the last time. We would laugh and kiss and say, I love you, if only. The rest is only accounts of others. Apparently I cried out so loud and so long they didn't think it was real. Crazy what a mix of adrenaline and soul-shattering despair can do to you. I was lying next to her sobbing. They thought she was hit by enemy fire. Eventually we had to retreat and they had to drag me kicking and screaming, literally. They had to concede to my cries to bring her along. We lost another one recovering her. As if I wasn't drowning in enough guilt already, I couldn't speak without breaking down for days. It's taken every shred of will that I have left. The only thing keeping me going is knowing it's what she would want. I'll be your soulless killing machine. I'll lay my life down for your war. I have nothing left to live for anyways. Ooh. Okay, a little love story. Was not expecting that going into that. Very cool. Yeah, okay. Happy to have you here. Hopefully you keep it together. Best of luck. That's a tough one. Outcast Morvac, our skirmisher. I love this. Like, I think this is so cool as a skirmisher. I don't know. I just think that that's super rad. Morvac grew up in the shadow of an Advent gene clinic in a block where the air smelled like disinfectant and burnt circuitry instead of home-cooked food. His parents believed the broadcast, or at least pretended to. Jax never quite did. As a kid, he escaped to the rooftops, running along maintenance rails and leaping between service towers, chasing the thin strip of real sky and the hollow banners the hollow banners couldn't cover. His hobbies were simple rebellions, free running on restricted infrastructure, salvaging broken drones, and splicing together banned music feeds on a cracked datapad. His first alien encounter came during a Unity parade when the Elders' envoys marched through the district. A sectoid demonstration went wrong. The creature's psionic display brushed across the crowd like a storm front. Jack staggered, visions flooding his mind, flashes of cities burning, of humans kneeling, of aliens' thoughts squeezing into his own into silence. He woke later in a clinic bed with a headache that felt too sharp to be natural, and a vague sense that part of him was now tuned to a frequency he couldn't stop hearing. When conscription rolled around, Advent flagged him as high potential, fit, agile, mentally receptive. Training bled into conditioning, discipline blurred into obedience. Neural implants, chemical stabilizers, and constant psionic pressure reshaped Jax into a skirmisher, an elite enforcer with a grapple, ripjack, and an instinct to strike first. Under Advent control, he carried out raids on resistance hideouts, dragged suspects from their homes, and cut down anyone marked non-compliant. There are missions he regrets so deeply they feel like scars carved into his mind. One night, he led a squad into a tenement suspected of harboring dissidents. The cell leader was an old woman whose only crime was passing information to a pirate radio. Another time, he executed a captured courier in an alley, the HUD tag over the man's head reading "Target neutralized," as if that made it cleaner. In those moments, Jax felt nothing. Only the hollow satisfaction of orders fulfilled. It was a lack of feeling that haunts him now. Freedom came violently during an engagement with Xcom forces. A feedback surge ripped through the Advent command network. A Psi operative's counterattack turned the psionic control web into a storm of broken commands. For a heartbeat, Jax heard every order, every lie, every forced justification crashing together. And beneath it all, a single thought that was unmistakably his: stop. Instead of hauling an Xcom soldier into his blade, he snapped his grapple into an Advent officer, tearing the captain's relay pack apart. The surge broke the hold over his implants. Disoriented, Jax turned his weapons on his own squad, movement sloppy but driven by raw will rather than programming. When the smoke cleared, he dropped his gear and knelt, fully expecting a bullet. Xcom chose restraint over revenge. The skirmishers recognized what he was, not a willing collaborator, but a weapon that had slipped its leash. They offered him a place among others like him, soldiers who remembered the things they'd done and refused to let those memories define their future. Jax took the call sign Outcast to own the truth. He no longer belonged to Advent, and he didn't yet deserve to feel like he belonged anywhere else. Fighting with Xcom, he turns the tools of his former masters against them, each mission a deliberate step towards balancing the ledger written in Ghost. Great backstory, sick look, love the skirmishers, so pumped to have you, and great job on your character. Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles. I think I got it there. That is intense. That is intense. The horns, the eyes, like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on here. Okay. So, from Madrid, Spain, for years, Marissa Salvador was the gold standard of Advent's New World Order workforce. As a 13-time employee of the month of Madrid's premier Advent burger, nice, she was the iron fist behind the restaurant's "you clean it, we mean it" tray return policy. Her record was legendary, 352 days of perfect compliance. That streak ended when a sectoid, who Marissa identifies with chilling certainty as Hernando, walked away from a messy table. Witnesses claim Marissa went nuclear instantly when Salvador blocked the exit. A violent dispute erupted. As 4 co-workers tried to restrain her, the struggle spilled into the kitchen. A heavy-duty fryer was upended in the chaos, and the resulting grease fire leveled the entire block. Amidst the smoke and screaming, Marissa was heard shrieking, "We had a deal!" at the retreating alien and fleeing customers. She didn't stop there and began a singular focused hunt for Hernando, tracing his deployment through Advent records. A week later, a security checkpoint was found, reduced to ash after Marissa reportedly interrogated the staff regarding the sectoid's whereabouts. Resistance scouts finally intercepted her attempting a solo suicidal breach of high security black site. Her stated objective? Finding that big-headed coward and making him bust his own damn trash. Xcom Command has cleared her for field duty. While her mental stability is subject to interpretation, her absolute refusal to back down in the face of alien threats is exactly what the Resistance needs. Just don't leave your tray on the table in the Avengers Galley. Field notes. Displays very low regard for personal safety. Other operatives find her screaming profanities over the comms distracting. Keep her away from the fuel reserves or anything inflammable at all. Noted. Yeah, I could see that. She gives that vibe. Absolutely. Welcome to the squad. You're going to do awesome. Tabitha Illusionist Delamere. Okay. I mean, besides the purple, a rather subtle look comparatively. Tabitha Delamere was the pen name Sarah Phillips had picked for her budding career as an author. Okay. She planned that her exploration of the romantasy genre was going to make her rich and famous. Unfortunately, the launch of her first book, Thorns, Daggers, and Dark Smiles, coincided with the arrival of the invasion. Convinced the aliens had arrived specifically to thwart her future millions, she attempted to join a public resistance. Upon promptly explaining that her extensive research into how to plunge a dagger into someone while jumping off a dragon didn't translate into real-world skills, she found herself politely but firmly denied. Retreating to her writing cave, also known as a small 2-up, 2-down terrace in northern England, she worked on her next book. A self-insert Mary Sue revenge novel involving a rebuffed author extracting revenge on an uncaring public. For some reason, it was less popular than her first book. Instead, she had decided to put down the pen and disprove the old aphorism. She's going to beat the aliens. She's going to make you read her book. You'll enjoy the dark exploration of romance and dragons she's spent the last 2 decades crafting, or else. Okay, the writing is very cool. Great job. Very cool to have you here, Illusionist.
You know,
excited to see what your future looks are like too. We're not going to sneak a peek, but I am curious. Blackburn Eye Fighter Joyous. Okay.
Getting the Avengers power back online was a miracle.
On night missions, you're going to be in the front.
How he deciphered their
Absolutely.
system. But we'd still be half buried in the
Date of birth, October 2nd, 87. Years ago, Blackburn had told his cousin Jaco from the ever-large Joyous family that he never joined the military because the world has enough soldiers, too many fighting each other. The charismatic Blackburn, a man often praised by those that knew him as a protective big brother, dedicated himself to putting himself at risk to rescue others, a firefighter. Okay, now that tracks. Skilled in his field, but humble, he didn't think twice. It was just the job. From the smallest of tasks, like recovering cats from trees, or the occasional public school visit, to facing the most dangerous infernos that his department was prepared to handle. But what could have prepared him? Anybody, really, for the invasion of 2015? All over the world, people were getting slaughtered. The militaries did their best to combat the threat to little overall success. However, life being uprooted didn't mean that Blackburn and the rest just sat on the sidelines. No, they did what they always did. With all the equipment they could manage, the firefighters of Alberta put their lives on the line to rescue people, control the flames caused by combat, and, when it came to it, put themselves in the way of aliens who threatened those nearby. However, such sacrificial tactics resulted in the deaths of those he considered family. When the fighting stopped and Advent came to rule, Blackburn and a few others only survived because they usually didn't directly involve themselves with their firefights. But the aftermath. Blackburn was directionless. The department was gone, the others parted ways. He traveled to one of the Alberta city centers, being a familiar face with a good reputation. Advent encouraged him to take a public speaking job where he spoke from approved scripts to better sell propaganda. After all, the local hero talking about Advent's outstanding efforts to rebuild did wonders for PR, but all he wanted to do was help, to bring some ease and comfort to a very small world. It was during one of his speeches 5 years ago when things changed. An apartment had broken out in flames and he could hear people screaming. As Advent sealed off the area, writing off the people inside, he disobeyed orders to stay put, earning a stun lance and a one-way ride to an Advent prison. During the ride, the man thought deeply about his failure. He only now realized that all he did was contribute to a worse tomorrow. The transport vehicle was intercepted outside the city. It was a short fight. Armed men in blue Kevlar dragged him out of the vehicle. The leader of this group was none other than his cousin, Jaco. When Blackburn asked why, given his role in Advent, Jaco simply smiled. Because, cuz, the world doesn't have enough soldiers, not enough fighting for what matters. Blackburn traveled with the group for a time. The Blue Shirts had members come and go as they stationed themselves in havens across the world to connect resistance groups together in preparation for Xcom's return. Blackburn, too, found himself staying at a haven where he spent the next 5 years training as he dedicated himself to being a fighter. Just a fighter dedicated to hosing down aliens with bullets. To start fires rather than end them, if it meant putting out the biggest disaster of all. Now the 48-year-old, who has a reputation in the resistance as a protective uncle figure who looks out for the usually younger people around him. Oh, he's a nice guy. Just wants to help. And will definitely attract a lot of bullets in the brightest possible uniform available. Welcome to the squad, iFighter. You're gonna do great. Matthew Webhead Matudi. Okay, we got like a Spider-Man thing going on here. I have to imagine that's what we're gonna be reading about. Could be wrong. Nationality American, age 28. Matt, never knew a world without Advent. Growing up in an occupied New York City meant curfews instead of childhood and propaganda instead of playgrounds. His orphanage was built out of a shuttered public library, its shelves mostly emptied and repurposed. The adults call it progress, the children call it home. As he got older, Matt began noticing patterns. More and more children were adopted into approved households aligned with Advent. At first, he was happy for them, but when some returned years later for public appearances or recruitment drives, something felt wrong. A few didn't recognize him. Others seemed polished, rehearsed like parts of them had been rewritten. It was in a forgotten storage room beneath the old library that Matt found a hidden cache of comic books. Stories about underdogs, about responsibility, about ordinary people. Did I call it about the comic books? I mean, yeah. About ordinary people choosing to stand up when no one else would. One masked hero from Queens became his favorite, not because he was the strongest, but because he never stopped trying. The books gave Matt language for the feeling he couldn't shake. The world wasn't supposed to be this way. When whispers of a resistance cell reached the burrows, he didn't hesitate. He wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or most experienced, but he'd grown up watching heroes win from the margins. Matt fights the way he learned to survive, quick, clever, and always punching above his weight. Maybe if he read a different comic book when he was a kid, maybe he'd have been a different man. This is kind of a cool way of going around the idea. Like, we have some rules in here where you can't, like, imitate certain fictional characters and stuff. And this is a really cool way of kind of going around that and, like, making it unique and making it make sense. Like, yeah, super cool. Happy to have you, Webhead. That's great. I love the nickname, too. This is sick. Maya El Chupacabra Villanueva. Okay. Love this look too. All like the tool accessories and stuff. This little pack on the back. Love the glasses. I'm positive you can see through those somehow. Okay. Recruiter 1. All right, let's have the next dossier. Recruiter 2. Yes, sir, I got it right here. Okay, so Maya Villanueva, 36-year-old from Puerto Rico, also known as El Chupacabra. El Chupa what? Yes, sir, El Chupacabra. That's what the locals call her, taken from their local legends. According to the Reaper's report, she stayed hidden on the island for years, luring and eliminating stray Advent in secret. Bodies with punctures and knife wounds would be left to be found in the residential districts as a kind of message of hope for the civilians. How did she move bodies without being seen? She made her own masking device to move past the detection towers unseen. Oh, maybe that's the thing on the back. Impressive. Sounds like a useful device. How'd she create something like that while being off-grid? Well, she seems to be very tech-savvy. She repurposed a lot of alien tech to set up traps and devices. What kind of prior training or certificates does she have? From what I'm reading, sir, none. Really? How can that be? Well, according to locals, her father was an aspiring inventor before the invasion, always tinkering with new ideas to help day-to-day living on the island. Do we think he taught her? Do we know where he is? According to locals, her father was killed in the initial invasion. They knew he had a daughter, but she disappeared. Only thing they found was a rummaged-through apartment. That's unfortunate. So let me get a couple things straight. Of course, sir. So she took his stuff, taught herself over the last 20 years, then proceeded to run stealth assassinations on the enemy? Sounds like it, sir. Well, why didn't we find her sooner? She was hidden, sir. It took a Reaper to find her, and you know how Volk is about sharing information with us. No matter, get this woman a weapon, or a knife, or heck, even one of those drones. We gotta get her out there. Oh, and maybe get her a psych appointment too. Heard that, sir. Yeah, that's sick. Great idea. Very cool. And it fits the look perfectly too. Like this, I don't know, kind of giving like Ghostbuster vibes, you know? Like I feel like I ain't afraid of no ghosts right now. This will be cool. Happy to have you. Remy Patchwork Lucius. Well, that look is awesome. I love that. This is, oh man. Okay. Okay. One of the most unique and interesting, like head designs on a character that I've seen. Okay, Patchwork. Xcom recruiter dossier. Remy Lucius, call sign Patchwork, Bray, Ireland. Remy Lucius was born in Bray, Ireland, a coastal town where salt air erodes or corrodes metal and machinery rarely survives without constant attention. Oh, and machinery rarely survives without constant attention. Growing up near the harbor, she spent her childhood around fishing boats, engine parts, and repair shops. Her mother worked maintenance on local trawlers, while her father worked as a fisherman. And by the time Remy was a teenager, she'd already developed a reputation for fixing things. Most people had given up on generators, radios, old engines pulled from rusting hulls. If someone had wires or moving parts, Remy wanted to understand how it worked. When the invasion began, she was working as a civilian technician helping maintain electrical and communications systems. During the chaos of the initial assault, she joined volunteer repair crews trying to restore power and keep emergency networks online. Then Xcom lost. As Advent control spread across human infrastructure, alien technology slowly began appearing inside systems that had once been entirely human-built. While most people kept their distance from the unfamiliar hardware, Remy did the opposite. She started collecting damaged components, broken patrol drones, scrapped relay equipment, anything else she could quietly take apart and study. Her first cybernetic implant was not military issue. She built herself from scavenged parts, a crude neural interface meant to help her interact with alien circuitry without frying the equipment or her nervous system, and over time, she refined it. Most of the upgrades she carries now remain internal. Signal translators, neural relay links, and experimental interface hardware designed to bridge the gap between human and alien systems. Sick. Externally, the changes are subtle. Thin circuit-like lines run from her collarbone up to her neck, we noticed. I mean, I thought those were tattoos, so this is even better. Ending beneath each eye in small triangular interface nodes. When her implants are active, faint light pulses through the lines as her systems connect with nearby technology. Damn! Along the sides of her neck and across her cheeks are hex pattern tattoos. At a glance, they appear decorative, but the shapes mirror the structure of digital networks, interlocking patterns meant to symbolize connection and stability. Those who work with her say the tattoos appeared around the same time as her earliest implants. Personality reports describe her as curious, mechanically gifted, and a little eccentric, you don't say. She tends to treat equipment like it's alive, talking to tools while she works and occasionally muttering at malfunctioning electronics as if they can hear her, as well as humming old Irish folk songs when concentrating. Despite this, squad mates often note her calm demeanor and habit of quietly looking out for others. She double checks armor fittings before deployment, helps recruits with gear maintenance, and has been known to slip extra rations into someone else's pack if she thinks they forgot to eat. But the engineering teams aboard the Avenger have already taken interest in her ability to understand unfamiliar systems. If that talent carries over to the battlefield, Patchwork may become something far more valuable to XCOM than just another soldier. Someone who can speak the enemy's language, and maybe one day turn it against them. Assessment. Remy Lucius doesn't seek to become a machine. She seeks to understand them well enough to break them. Recommendation, approved for field deployment. Something about this look and the backstory, like, that is sick. That is sick. One of my early favorites, for sure. Very cool, just from like a design perspective. Jonah Invoice Lorenzen. Similar, oh, that's really interesting. Similar little lines here. Huh. He is ready to go. His hair's nicely coiffed as well. Let's see. Beginning of recording with Jonah Lorenzen. Interviewer, can you please state your name for the record? Jonah Lorenzen. Most people just call me Jonah. The ones who don't tend to like me call me Invoice. And why is that? Because I didn't work for free. Until now, at least. From what I've pulled up, you've been operating independently across multiple resistance havens in the United States. Is that correct? You got it. In Colorado, upstate New York, parts of the Carolinas. If somebody needed someone to fill in a spot, whether it would be a convoy escort, VIP extraction, recon for advent positions, I showed up. Always kept it simple, a clear contract, clear objective, clear exit. You took advantage of folks as a gun for hire. I was a survivor. I did what I had to do. Right. Records also show occasional cooperation with the Reapers. Occasional is generous. You don't cooperate with the Reapers. You either keep up or you slow them down. I tried not to slow them down. And what did you do for them? Mostly recon, long-range overwatch, drawing patrols off their scouts when things got loud. They don't like loud. I don't either. But sometimes loud keeps innocent people breathing. Were you ever formally inducted? If you mean if they made me get some weird tattoo or make a vow in the woods, then no. It was just for mutual benefit, that's all. I see, but why join Xcom now then? You've been making a living off this war. This war has stopped being profitable. Early on, havens had resources and trade routes. They could even afford to pay someone like me. Now, they're stretched thin. Advent's cracking down harder, more disappearances. Fewer radios are lighting up with offers. So you're out of work. Well, you could say that. So why should we trust you? I've been fighting this war for food, ammo, trade credit. I'd like to try fighting for something bigger. Such as? Winning. I'm done being a contractor. I want my fighting to be worth something for once. End of recording. Sick! I love that. It's so cool to see like creative ways that people write these backstories, whether it be like a dossier from Bradford or an interaction with recruiters or like intel found. Like they're all cool. And they're cool because they're not everyone's doing it. Because just some of the traditional backstories are written perfectly too. It's just, yeah, it's a nice variety. You guys really add so much life to these campaigns. It's so sick. Tamar, Child of Earth, Dedimitshashvili. Nailed it. Tamar Dedimitshashvili was born in the cavern city of Vardzia, the ancient rock-hewn sanctuary carved into the cliffs of southern Georgia. In the age of alien occupation, Vardzia was no museum piece, it was a refuge. While Advent's gleaming cities rose across the lowlands, the old medieval stronghold became a hidden haven for those who refused compliance. Behind stone facades and centuries-old frescoes, humanity endured in silence. The caves that had once protected monks and nobles from invading armies now sheltered families fleeing genetic screenings and forced relocations. Ancient irrigation tunnels carried whispered messages instead of wine. Hidden chambers stored salvaged tech and contraband medkits. The mountains did what it had always done, it protected its own. Tamar grew up knowing every corridor by touch. She learned to move without echo, to read the flicker of torchlight against the uneven walls, to navigate by memory when power had to be cut to avoid Advent scans. Her surname, Dedimitshashvili, Child of Earth, felt literal in those days. Okay, so this is like the nickname is a translation of the last name. And what I read this as like Dead Amidst Ashvili. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm saying that even close, but cool translation. Anyways, her surname felt literal in those days. She did not just survive on the land, she lived within it. The elders of Vardzia spoke of the city's medieval past, of how human hands, armed with iron tools and patience, carved homes and sanctuaries from solid stone. To Tamar, those stories were instruction manuals. If their ancestors could shape a mountain into a fortress, then their generation could reshape the future from its ruins. Human ingenuity was not a relic, it was a weapon. As she grew older, Tamar became a runner for the resistance cell embedded within Vardzia. She mapped safe routes through the collapsed passages and rediscovered forgotten exits that opened onto narrow cliffside paths invisible from the air. When Advent patrols drew too close to the surrounding valleys, Vardzia simply seemed to vanish, its entrances sealed, its presence swallowed by the mountain's face. The illusion shattered during a surprise sweep that threatened to expose the refuge. Tamar led a small defensive team through the tightest corridors, exploiting choke points designed 8 centuries earlier. In spaces too narrow for Advent to maneuver effectively, plasma rifles meant little. Stone, angles, and courage did the work instead. By the time Xcom forces arrived to extract key resistance personnel, Tamar was already holding the upper tiers, buying time for civilians to retreat deeper into the mountain. She left Vardzia reluctantly, but not in defeat. Aboard the Avenger, she accepted the call sign Child of Earth, the English rendering of her name. Thank God. It was a reminder of what she fought for, not abstract victory, but the protection of sanctuaries like the one that raised her. Tamar thrives in close quarters combat. She favors tight environments, urban ruins, alien facilities, derelict tunnels, anywhere terrain can be turned against a technologically superior foe. Teammates note her uncanny sense of structure. She sees firing lanes when others see walls, escape routes where others see dead ends. To her, every battle is just another mountain waiting to be understood. In her quarters, she keeps a small stone from Vardzia's cliffside, not as a souvenir, but as a vow. The mountain sheltered her once. Now she fights to ensure no humans has to hide within stone again. To Advent, she's a phantom born of rock and shadow. To Xcom, she's a specialist in reclamation and defense. To herself, she is what her name has always declared, a child of Earth, and Earth shelters its own. Sick look too, like, I love everything you guys have done. This is like, I love that you do like a kind of a camo vibe overall, but then you have like the bright red beret just to like give a little bit of pop. Really, really nice. Speaking of pop, Jericho Pops Walker is here. This guy's seen some shit, and he's also got those weird tats. Everyone's got the weird face tats. Okay, I'm into it. Okay, United States, 79, age 54, from Brooklyn. Walker's an old beaten dog, once a field medic with a prideful cavalier attitude and an exemplary service record to back it up. Sergeant Walker was assigned to the original Xcom initiative after the program already saw numerous successes during the early stages of the invasion. Walker acted as a squad leader for an operation to investigate a small downed UFO with a squad of low-ranked soldiers. The operation was a Pyrrhic success. A majority of the squad was wiped out in an ambush, and another rookie had to be sacrificed in order for Walker to secure the UFO and its resources. The aged squad leader carried that trauma into the next mission, which saw Xcom responding to alien forces, dropping into the city and infesting the area with chrysalids. All it took was one strike from those abominations to send Walker panicking and hunkering down next to a burning vehicle. The ensuing explosion caused him to go into critical status, and while he was stabilized, he would spend the rest of its original Xcom's lifespan unable to fight. While deep in recovery, his name was put forward as a possible candidate for the burgeoning mech program by Shen, a promise to rebuild him. His maimed arm was removed just before the aliens invaded Xcom HQ and kidnapped the commander. Walker was then put in a deep comatose state. With the help of the Shens, Bradford, and the newborn resistance, Walker was sustained for 15 years at a rebel camp in West Africa. When he woke up, he did so to a different world. He has spent the last 5 years healing, learning, and training to return to the field and help with this new generation of Xcom. Although gladdened to hear the return of his old commander, the knowledge of the destruction of the former Xcom, the dissolving of his old world, sometimes sends him into a numbing shock. Fighting the aliens before was merely his duty.
Sometimes I do miss that damn sweater.
But now, this new battle with the so-called Advent administration is an opportunity to redeem himself in his own eyes following his catastrophic failures. On the Avenger, Walker mostly keeps to himself, not surprised, as he feels unable to relate to most of the crew and other soldiers. But he comes out of his shell a bit in the shooting gallery when testing a new weaponry for Lily. He's more than happy to be a lab rat for her, thanks to her father. On the battlefield, he feels lumbering but enthusiastic, with shades of his formal devil-may-care attitude resurfacing the longer he lingers in the heat of combat with comrades at his side. He dons his old uniform, although the US flag removed as his home country is currently unrecognizable, and he feels more like a soldier without borders anyways. Bradford returned to him his old beret, but Walker still misses that damned fedora he used to wear into battle. Lily assures him it's somewhere on the Avenger, as her father stored it just in case he woke up. Interesting. Very cool. I feel like you and somebody like Mephisto are going to be bonded. I feel like that's the vibe that needs to happen there. Rusty Cage Kimura, we have 3 more, guys. Rusty Cage Kimura is here. Love this. You and actually Capo kind of look like you might be from a similar era, although maybe this is a bit more Western. Rusty Cage. American. Okay, let's go. Country of origin Japan, but nationality is American. Pronouns she, they. Known throughout the southern U.S. territories as Rusty Cage Kimura, or Rusty by her compatriots, Ami Kimura spent her early life in Advent-occupied Kyoto before losing her parents to a resistance attack at the age of 9. She was later relocated to live with her uncle Jonathan Kennedy, a sheriff who resided in the independent nation-state of New Fort Bend, located in southeast Texas. He was a member of the Lawmen, an order of former cops dedicated to upholding old world values and maintaining rule of law within the autonomous regions. Unlike similar groups that popped up in the wake of the invasion, the lawmen worked in tight collaboration with Advent and its proxies. Under the provisions of the 2017 Atlas Accords, emergent states outside Advent jurisdiction could gain recognition in exchange for conscription work. For the lawmen, this meant quelling dissident groups and tracking down unauthorized alien contraband. Despite her strict upbringing, Ami was a rebellious teen. She'd racked up several charges, including petty theft and assault, though it wasn't until she stole her uncle's .44 and gunned down one of her peers in a fit of rage that her life as an outlaw had truly begun. She fled Fort Bend and vanished for 2 whole years until she was found in New Austin, half dead in the aftermath of a botched train robbery. Ami confessed that she'd gotten herself tangled with the Lonely Hearts Gang, a notorious band of Illyrium smugglers. Though his reputation had been tarnished over his niece's actions, her uncle saw an opportunity to apprehend these outlaws by giving her an ultimatum. Ami would aid the lawmen in capturing every one of her former partners in exchange for clemency and a permanent job under the sheriff's supervision. In the years following, Ami would excel as one of the first women of color to serve as a deputy under the lawmen, making her 145 arrests and busting 20 smuggling operations across southern Texas. She proved to be a worthy successor to her uncle as a model peacekeeper and a righteous servant of the law, yet she never quite escaped the shadow of her past as an outlaw. Things would further worsen when Ami discovered the dark secret at the center of the lawmen's whole operation. The facility that housed most of their arrests wasn't a prison, but a processing plant. Advent was harvesting human bodies, and the lawmen, not wanting to violate the terms of the treaty, were complicit. Falling back on old habits, Ami fled her home once again and has since become a wandering drifter, taking up whatever work she can as a hired gun. While her attitude might need some work, her quick trigger finger could prove useful to Xcom's effort. Sick. Happy to have you, partner. You're gonna do great out there. I believe in you. I like the scar. I like the bandana. This is all incredible. Libby Pandora Butler is here. Looks like a bit of a punk rocker. Probably friends with a couple other people in the squad, if I had to guess. Cool, like I like the glasses a lot. The earrings are cool. The necklace, little sectoid necklace, that's sick. Okay, you guys are good. Libby's memories of her mom are hospitals, radiation treatments, harsh setbacks, and endless nights of pain. Yeah, Mom did her best to remain in high spirits. She was her ray of light, a pillar and beacon of positivity. Belly-aching laughter was as common as the cries. Energy needed to fight the cancer was spent satiating Libby's curiosity about dinosaurs. Mom knew that what was happening, but she refused to let it define her. Then came little Jonah. A worth risk-taking, Mom would say, but as Jonah grew bigger and stronger, Mom's health declined. Libby and Jonah were inseparable. Her insatiable curiosity had infected him. Dinosaurs gave way to Greek myths. With Mom on their mind, they put on plays with Jonah as the hero. He was afraid of monsters, so Libby would always play them with great passion. Each time by the end, the laughter spilled around the block, until one night, it didn't. Mom had no fight left. She begged for mercy. Her light was to be forever extinguished, and Libby couldn't accept it. Even if it meant ending her suffering, she selfishly refused to be a part of assisted euthanasia. Fear took root, and that day she ran. I didn't say goodbye. Libby would cry the following months. Pop did his best to rid her of her guilt, to try to keep the family steady. The invasion took Pop. Relocation efforts saw them from the foster care to saw them move from foster care to refugee camps. Life on the outskirts would temper them. He would scavenge and steal. She sold hacked information and aided the sick, never settling down, always alone, but always together. Their drifting eventually brought them close to the abandoned ruins of their old hometown. Jonah, now a teenager, was guilt-ridden. He never said it, but he knew. If I hadn't been born, Mum would still be here, and you know it. Don't say that. I want to see her one last time, Lib. At 18, Libby had been nothing but a terrible guardian. The once unbreakable bond now frayed and fragile. This would be her way of making amends. The silence lingered at Mum's grave. It's my fault, Mum. I'm so sorry. Jonah fell to his knees, crying. Libby's heart found new ways to shatter. She knelt beside him. The truth is, she was already dying, but she knew you. It made no sense, but she talked about you like she already knew who you were. She knew you'd keep us together, her greatest accomplishment, and she just wanted to finally meet you. We all did. They held each other as they grieved, rekindling their bond. The loving embrace would be short-lived. Gargled howls echoed in the wind, heralding what was to come. Adrenaline fueled their mad dash as they saw what was surrounding them. Libby cut a way through with her gun, and they barely escaped to an upper flat. Her shots brought out even more loss, swarming the building. For the moment they were safe, then Jonah locked himself inside the bedroom. Jonah? The knob wouldn't turn. Don't, she heard the break in his voice. What's going on? How many bullets do you have left? Jonah, what's going on? I messed up. Oh no. Libby's heart sunk. She pulled at the door violently, desperate, sobbing. Jonah, open the door. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Open the fucking door. Lib, I don't want to turn. Don't do this. Please, God, don't do this, Jonah. I'm scared of monsters, Lib. Oh, God. Jonah, open the door. God, don't do this. Please, Jonah. Wet, guttural groans took over his voice. Jonah! Assisted euthanasia, a mercy killing, once more at her doorstep, but the fear. A decade later, Libby sits in front of Central Officer Bradford. "You've ever been afraid of doing the right thing?" she asked. Central nods. "I'm afraid of running away. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I don't want to be afraid anymore, and I don't want to be alone anymore." Shit. That is heavy. That is some very good writing. Pandora. Okay, Pandora. Very, very, very cool writing. Good job. We've got Capo. He's the last one here. He's Italian, if you couldn't tell. Let's go. Born August 1990, age 45. Lorenzo Capo Garibaldi is his name. Lorenzo was born in a tightly knit neighborhood in Palermo, Sicily, the kind where everyone knows everyone and nobody talks to the cops. As a kid, he noticed some of the older men who would hang around the wealthier parts of town. They had money, they had power, they had respect, and Lorenzo dreamed of being like them. He got a job at their favorite calzone place and made himself useful to the wise guys. Get food, relay letters and messages, and look out for cops and rivals. By the time he was 18, he was an associate doing dirty deeds for cash. More cash than his father made in a month. He made in a week. When he turned 20, the Capo told him to dress up and come to the back of an illegal gambling den. The Capo and several other soldados waited around a table with a picture of St. Mary and a knife in the middle. Lorenzo took the omerta, the code of silence, and allowed a drop of his blood to fall into the picture. He was a made man now, untouchable. But it wouldn't last. The family didn't survive the invasion. The aliens and later Advent made sure that. Lorenzo and some others had enough cash hidden away to get out of town. He could only watch helplessly as Palermo, all that he knew and loved, was reduced to ashes. But the code still holds, and as many made men will tell you, only blood can wash away blood. As it turns out, organized crime and organized rebellion has a lot of transferable skills. How to launder money, how to move cargo and people quietly, and how to intimidate a witness without raising your voice or your fist. His mob's mindset still lingers. Xcom is the new family, the commander is his boss, and we're his made men. What he says goes, no question. Something stolen, done. Some Advent bigwig whacked, no problem. So Advent better be aware. There's a new game in town, and you're on our turf. And if we can't, and we ain't afraid to get our hands dirty. Capiche? I love that. What a sick one. That's a fun one to end on, dude. That is so cool. I have big plans for you, Capo. You're gonna be great. That is sick. So that's all of our recruits, guys. We have some promotions to do, which we will. Don't worry. Quick look at the recruit pool right now. So the way that we do this is we limit it to 2, so I'm always picking like either or. We got Victoria Nieto and Ember Bridges here. Only big difference I see is slightly higher will amount here, so all things equal, probably go there next, but either way, very cool. A couple of things that we need to do. should we look at our promotions? So right now we've got a keeper, a sharpshooter, grenadier, skirmisher. Let's look at fault line here. So the way that this works is if you chose a class for your submitted character, it will show me that class and it will show me one other random class, just to prevent us getting to a situation where like everybody's a sharpshooter or something, right? So I think we're gonna go with variety early on, and we're gonna choose a specialist.
Operating some of our most advanced equipment, specialists deploy robotic drones on the battlefield that can be outfitted for combat or field medic duty.
Okay, so we've got aid protocol. Command your gremlin to move to a friendly target, grants a target bonus to defense until the start of the next turn. Now we are going to be reading all of these things as they come up because these classes have been redone and there are going to be different progressions. Certain things are rearranged, certain skills are reworked. There might be some new skills that we haven't seen. Combat intelligence of genius, really nice to see as well. So we've got hack and we have aid protocol. That's pretty standard. Happy to have you fault line as a specialist. Mephisto, what do we want to do here? We've got Ranger and Grenadier. Now, that's interesting. That's an interesting choice. Because yes, we don't have a Ranger yet. But Grenadiers right now, early on, provide us a ton of versatility, just blowing things up, getting rid of cover, all that kind of stuff. I mean, and like, I mean, she kind of does fit both. She does fit both. I wish I could look at this and, oh, I can back out. Let's look at the Illusionist and let's see what her class options are. Ranger and Specialist. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Mephisto, we're gonna go into Grenadier.
Serving as our demolitions experts, the Grenadiers provide heavy ordnance delivery whenever and wherever we need it.
Also, I don't know why she had the little, like, star by the Ranger. Maybe that means that that was the class that was picked or chosen in the character submission. That could be. I'm not sure.
You've done a hell of a job keeping this ship together, Doctor.
It's all we've got. And I know the aliens aren't happy about losing one of their own.
And then Illusionist, we're gonna go Ranger.
I'm more than happy to prove them wrong.
The Ranger serves as our primary reconnaissance unit, capable of moving independently in concealment while engaging enemies at close range.
Watch where you're swinging that thing. Watch where you're swinging that thing. Okay. I don't know where that came from. Couldn't resist. Okay, we've got Slash. That's chill. Now, there are options to be able to see all of the upcoming skills and stuff. I'm curious if you guys think that we should enable that or if we should keep them hidden. Like, part of me likes to just see what's, like, we just make the best choice with the information that we have, and it's kind of fun to keep those surprises. Because then every promotion, like, you're learning some new stuff, right? I don't know, I just think it's kind of neat. Okay, so there we go. They could have promotions, Let's go over to command really quick. Here's the bestiary. If you guys have not seen this, we implemented this in recent seasons. I believe Rusty Dios and Cloista made this mod primarily. And it basically just adds enemy breakdowns. So derelict mech, you come in here, you can see all their skills and stuff. And it's so well done. You have to see the enemy and defeat the enemy, I believe, for it to add or to be added here. We should still be able to investigate them on the battlefield with F1, but it's just such a cool way of like being able to review enemies later on. I just think it's super well done. Okay, so right now I think what we're going to do is we're going to start building something. I honestly think we're going to build a lab. This is just going to help with our research like a ton. And I think we did this last season.
Laboratory construction initiated.
I don't have an engineer. That's cool. That's fine. It is what it is.
Impressive, isn't it? Capable of generating immense power, yet completely harmless to human life. If only the same could be said for the rest of the aliens' technology. Commander. Dr. Richard Tigan, Chief Science Officer. I am responsible for the entirety of our research here, as well as the procedure you so recently underwent. Welcome to my lab, such as it is. I'm not sure what Central may have told you, but we found something while removing you from the alien stasis suit. A device implanted directly in your occipital lobe. Had I access to the equipment available to me during my tenure at Advent, I would already know the precise nature of its function. However, given time and your approval, of course, Commander, I assure you, I will find out. Which brings to light an additional point. Though aspects of this facility are indeed impressive, I am but one man. Were you to direct additional support personnel and resources to me, I could substantially improve the speed of all our research. Farewell, Commander.
I'm definitely trying to do that. Trying to do that right now. Absolutely. So we go modular weapons, so we could use some of the attachments. We have alien biotech to get infirmary and some autopsies going, hybrid materials. I think I'm gonna go modular weapons.
I find that area of research
also helps get into mag weapons, of course.
Options available.
Okay, reworked your repulsors with some of the parts I salvaged from their old engine. Should fix that stabilization problem you had. Come on, Rover. It'll work. Commander! Getting our tech to talk to theirs is harder than you'd think. Lily Shen, Chief Engineer, at your service. You were probably expecting to see my father. In all that's happened, I'm guessing Central didn't tell you yet. He's gone. Dad gave everything he had to get us this far. This entire ship is his life's work. I know he would have loved to show you around the place himself. He used to talk about you a lot. You can be sure I'm ready to finish what he started. Might not look it, but from here, I can fabricate pretty much anything you come up with. And with a little more help, well, you'd be amazed with what I can do. It was an honor to finally meet you, Commander.
Okay, so let's just take a look at what's in here. We've got Frostbomb, Boltcaster, Hunter's Axe, Shadowkeeper stuff. Like, we definitely want to be making these at some point, as soon as possible. Nothing we can do here right now. That's chill.
I wonder if
hopefully we can get an engineer from
ready for a fight
some covert actions.
I heard you, Shen. When we get the thing, you'll be the first to know.
Attention. Unauthorized presence detected.
Commander, give me a second. Execute Echelon Protocol.
Attention. Senior command exchange confirmed.
I had wanted that to be a little more ceremonious, but we've got something.
A local resistance cell just located this hybrid magnetic power converter that Shen's been pushing us to find. They tracked the device to a nearby Advent convoy and are attempting to take it down.
If we can bring this converter back in one piece, we might actually get this place up and running and give the aliens a real war for a change. The squad is prepped and ready to launch on your order, Commander. Just give the word.
Like, this is sick. I'm just so pumped we're back in here. Look at this. What is this even? What is this? I have no clue what this is. This is so cool. I can't back out. I'm committed. Okay. I'm going in. Recover the Advent power converter. Assassin controls the region. We love that. We love that. Now, here's the thing. Do we want to take out every squaddy? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Also, looking at some will numbers, we probably want to give people like a little bit of a break. And we probably want to bring out some rookies here. Do we see any, like... Yeah, okay, so when I was looking at the soldiers originally, I was thinking, okay, maybe we have some... I don't think we have the mod in here that varies the starting stats, like, at all. Everyone's just flat across the board, which is cool. The only thing that varies is their will. But yeah, that's sick. I'm definitely throwing patchwork in here, because I might be obsessed already. We could throw in this old world rifle, too, and I think that I will. Hacker's laptop, these are always cool. Yeah, these are cool for, yeah, that's nice. This gives a little bit of a health bonus. We have some options in here to start, which is nice. Do we want to give... So we have a nanoscale here. So it looks like we've got nanoscales for a bunch of people already. So these are infinite. And like I said, like there's gonna be things I'm learning about this mod list as we go. So it feels new and fresh. And I hope you guys are cool with discovering this with me. We got a marksman's rifle here we could use. I don't hate it. We got the light machine guns here with a stock on it. Don't hate that at all. Shotgun, we've got the scatter gun for extra crit chance. Any sword options? We've got the traditional sword that has... What's the difference with this one? Can't remember what the difference is with the traditional sword. Is there something at the bottom of this description? I don't think so. It might be that the sword was buffed to kind of account for this. But we'll throw that on there. The question is, if we only have the one slot, how do we want to handle that? Like, I think as the Grenadiers, you just got to go frags, right? Here, yeah, the hacking could help, but I feel like keeping as many people alive right now is probably the way to go. These guys have 5 health. I mean, it's not amazing. Having an extra grenade here could be useful. Do I want to bring in another rookie, though? So I've got a specialist, a grenadier. Is 2 grenadiers too much? So I'll not be guaranteed to have one on the next mission. You know? Maybe we bring in 1 more rookie. Could also bring Halfling. It gives us a little bit of mobility. We have combat presence. We have the bandage throw. Like, that's pretty nice. Granting the extra action. Bandage throw for some healing. The grapple gun. I think maybe yes. Traditional gun for a different look. I think we could do that. Since we only have 1 keeper, we're gonna go... Ooh, that is not the vibe. But I think I know how to fix that. 1 sec. Okay, I got it fixed. I had to Alt F4 to get out of there because once you're in this mission, you're like locked in here. And I had to do that because I needed to import the meme uniform fixed character pool into the character pool. And what that does is it means you can go in here and you can apply things like scavenge field armor, like the Archon suit and stuff like that, and it doesn't mess up your whole look. So you have to do that. So if you run into that same issue, that's the fix. You should do it at the start of the campaign. But this is my first campaign. I've never played this game before, so can't imagine why I would forget that. So here is our build, I think. Is this what we want to do? Specialist, rook, 1 rookie. I feel like we should take more, but at the same time, it's like maybe we just baby a rookie at a time sort of thing and like get everybody kind of up to a baseline level of success. Our ranger, yeah, we probably want to keep a vest. I think we're gonna, we had like traditional sword, or I wanted one. Halfling, we could do like traditional handgun. I almost wonder like, because aid protocol is nice. We've got bandage throw, grapple gun, combat presence. Like that's all really handy stuff. The slash attack is nice. We've got grenades, obviously. We have the stock on the light machine gun. Light machine gun does pretty good damage. Sniper rifle, pretty good damage. Depending on the map, could be tough. Wilderness, arid. I almost wonder, I might go skirmisher here, actually. Myco Skirmisher. I just feel like that the justice pull is so strong. Everybody's at 5 or more health. We have a lot of grenades, which I think early on is the way to go. Can pull people out of full cover pretty easily. That's nice. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. And then maybe what we do is we go Old World Assault here. That's right. Gives some slight little bonuses, and we'll take any bonus that we can get right now. So yeah, I think this is it. Our operation name changed as well because I had to Alt F4, and I guess that gets regenerated, but that's fine. Okay, guys, we are ready to go. Thank you so much for watching. The goal is to have an episode up every day at 12 Eastern time. If you're a channel member at, I think, headphones on tier or above, then you get access to videos early. So for example, next week I am going to be traveling. I'm going to be in Paris, which is cool. Drop me any recommendations if you have any. But I'm going to be in Paris for a few days to do a thing. And so I have to pre-record a bunch of videos for that time, which means channel members will get access to seeing those early. If you're not a channel member, totally cool. Nothing changes for you. They go live at the same time every day. So yeah. Also, can you drop a like on this video? That would be insane. That would be helpful big time. If you want to subscribe to keep up. If you're not a subscriber and you're just stumbling on this channel for the first time, stay here. We play a lot of XCOM, and the community is insane. Insanely good. I'm insanely proud of them. So yeah, I'm excited to be back, guys. Wish me luck. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Let me know who your favorite soldier is as well, because I'll try to maybe not let them die or something. We'll see. Toodles.